Right, getting very busy today. Again, year 11 with the material for the upcoming Germany exam. This is just one on everyone's least favourite area and the one that's caused us most trouble over the last few years. It's basically Germany in World War II. Massive confusion here about what goes into the actual World War II, what's in the first half of Nazi Germany, what's in the second half. Now this one, as you can see in the middle of the screen, about to come up. Hopefully, yeah, here's Germany in World War II, 1939 to 45. So it's basically what happens in actual World War II in Germany. Now, it really is kind of a game of two halves. So I took you through the first half. And any questions you get in the exam are either likely to be about what happens to people in World War II or the Jews. So it's either going to focus on one or two. The role of ordinary people and the role of Jewish people are the two areas that it covers basically. So initially the war goes well. Although most Germans are subject to rationing, there is a growth of goods like aubergines and luxury items, which are basically being stolen from all the countries that the Germans invade, such as Poland and North Africa. So initially the impact of the war is good. Obviously blitzkrieg is what the picture up here is all about. It's a very effective tactic at the start of World War I. They achieve a lot of gains in a very short space of time. So initially the impact of the war is very, very good. Obviously people's diet is varied, it's different, but it's better than it has been previously. Okay, then what I'm going to move you on to is basically as the war progresses and the war gets worse, Germany effectively gets worse. And we see actually what the Germans are trying to do is they're trying to produce more, which means they have to reintroduce women into the workplace, but they never get their production levels up to the levels of some of the other countries, in particular the Russians. Right, so the German economy is a bit of a strange one in World War II. And another thing worth mentioning, you can't get things like toilet roll. Very, very difficult to get. So Germany, World War II, bit of an unusual place to be. Now, as the war kind of rumbles on, things change a little bit. Now, one of the things to mention, one of the really, really, really important things is the treatment of the Jews in World War II. It changes massively. Why? Because Germany invades countries with huge Jewish populations. So initially you get the ghettoisation of Jews, like the Warsaw Ghetto. That's from 1940 onwards, the first ghettos are set up and built. You then get an escalation towards Einsatzgruppen, otherwise known as killing squads. You get an escalation towards ideas like gas vans. And then eventually you get, and this is what this picture here is all about, the likes of Auschwitz, you get the final solution at the Wannsee Conference, where Nazis decide to exterminate the entire Jewish population of Europe. And that is where in 7 death camps, 6 million Jews are murdered during World War II. So you've got to remember, 1939 to 45 is the bit that we traditionally see as the Holocaust. Although the date of the Holocaust is from 1933 to 45, the exam board will tend to split it in two. It will ask you about the treatment of the Jews up to 1939, and it will ask you about the treatment from 1939 to 45. 1939 to 45, you've got a radical escalation from basically ghettoisation to transportation and extermination of the entire Jewish population of Europe. So don't forget that, that's really important in the stages in it. Now, other things I might ask you about. Well, obviously during World War II, life in Germany gets a lot worse. You get the bombing of Dresden. I think somewhere in the region of 300,000 people are killed in Dresden alone. They literally bomb it to the extent where there was a firebomb across the middle of the city. German populations have an horrendous experience. Mentioned in lesson, there was the rape of Berlin. It's basically the Soviet army carrying out state-sponsored rape of the citizens of Berlin. So huge and horrible consequences in Germany during World War II. Other things to mention that they might ask you about, they tend to like asking about opposition groups. So you get students, i.e. this one over here on the right hand side, the White Rose group. Their opposition is generally in the form of leaflets and speaking out and protesting at university. And their opposition is founded out of, I suppose, they don't like the Nazis' morals and their ideas. You also get huge opposition, and this is what this one here is all about. Oh, this one at the bottom being the Edelweiss Pirates. This one here is about the July bomb plot. This is where the army effectively tried to remove Hitler in 1944, with Stauffenberg being the person that plants the bomb next to Hitler. Obviously it fails, but it's a pretty big indicator that the military do not like the Nazis. And their reason for opposition is what was going on in the East. The Holocaust, the treatment of prisoners of war. So the military are a big area of opposition to Hitler during this period of time. The other one to mention probably is the church. There's not a picture on here for that, but you've got the likes of Galen, Niemöller and Bonhoeffer who object to what the Nazis are doing during World War II and speak out against it. So those are some of the possible things and areas that you might get questions on or questioned about in World War II up to 1945.